The next Team Go Rocket takeover is coming up in Pokemon Go, featuring the release of Shadow Heatran. And in this video, I will be going through all of the details and tips to help you make the most of it. So the event will be taking place from October 8th at 12 AM until October 11th at 8 PM local time. For the bonuses, Team Go Rocket will be appearing more frequently at Pokestops and in balloons. This usually means that they will be appearing every 3 hours in balloons instead of every 6 hours. And you will be able to remove frustration from your Shadow Pokemon using a Charged TM. I will be going through some of the best targets for this later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. Team Go Rocket grunts and leaders will be using different Shadow Pokemon, and there will be some new Shadow Pokemon available. Shadow Caterpie, Mankey, Roggenrola, Venipede, Carablast, and Shelmet. For the raids, in 1-star raids will be Alolan Diglett, Hisuian Voltorb, Skorupi, Mienfoo, and Rockruff. In 3-star raids will be Lapras, Snorlax, Druddigon, and Hisuian Decidueye. In 5-star raids will be Zamazenta, and in Mega raids will be Mega Blaziken. For the Shadow raids, in 1-star Shadow raids will be Shadow Machop, Grimer, Execute, and Sudowoodo. In 3-star Shadow raids will be Pinsir, Sableye, and Mawile. And in 5-star Shadow raids will be Shadow Entei on Saturdays and Sundays only. There will also be field research tasks rewarding charged and fast TMs, and mysterious components that you can use to make rocket radars. There will also be Pokestop showcases and an event bundle in the in-game shop for 300 Pokecoins that will get you an incubator, a rocket radar, and a premium battle pass. And lastly, the next part of the seasonal special research will be unlocking, which you can then progress through to get a super rocket radar to challenge Giovanni and catch Shadow Heatran for the first time in Pokemon Go. But how good is Shadow Heatran? So it won't be very good in Go Battle League, but it is actually a strong raid attacker. It will be the 7th best steel type raid attacker and the 4th best fire type raid attacker. And this is good because unless you want to wait months to continue the seasonal research, you will most likely have to use your super rocket radar to battle Giovanni to progress through it. So if you want to progress, you would have to get Shadow Heatran, or instead you could wait and do the research when Giovanni's Pokemon changes in a few months. This is because the super rocket radar will be from the ongoing special research for the season and not a separate special research like it is most of the time. And as good as Heatran will be as a fire type raid attacker, I would recommend holding on to any of your extra super rocket radars you currently have stacked in your research, because there will be better Pokemon in the future to use them on, Pokemon like Shadow Rayquaza for example. And it's worth noting that this Team Go Rocket takeover is taking place during the Galarian Expedition event, so in the wild for the Team Go Rocket takeover, we will see both Nidoran, Abra, Magnemite, Wailmer, Spheal, Aron, Beldum, Shinx, Foongus, Dedenne, Wooloo, and rarely Chansey, Absol, and Emolga. But how good are the event Pokemon? Firstly, I would recommend going after the female Nidoran if you are a Go Battle League player, because its final evolution Nidoqueen is ranked 31 in the Ultra League with 0, 14, 15 IVs. Abra is also available, and Mega Alakazam is the 2nd best Psychic type raid attacker in the game, and it's the best Psychic type Mega until Mega Mewtwo comes into the game. Next up we have Magnemite, and this Pokemon is even more worth doing this season after the changes that have been made to raiding. Magnemite's evolution Magnezone is the 9th best electric type raid attacker, and it is the best electric type raid attacker as a shadow, so well worth catching Magnemite, especially for candy for the shadow version if you have it. And Shadow Magnemite is currently available from the electric type Team Rocket Grunt, which is identified by the line "Get ready to be shocked." And this Shadow is also one of few Shadow Pokemon that can be shiny from grunts. And remember, you do need to be near an active magnetic lure module and have 100 candy to evolve Magneton into Magnezone. Spheal is another good option for Go Battle League because Walrein is ranked 36 in the Great League with 0, 12, 15 IVs, and it is ranked 45 in the Ultra League with 0, 15, 15 IVs. It's worth noting though that it does want 2 legacy moves, Powder Snow and Icicle Spear, to be at its best, which would require an Elite Fast and Elite Charge TM to get, so it's not the most budget-friendly Pokemon to build for Go Battle League. Aron might also be worth catching because Mega Aggron is the 13th best Steel type attacker, but we do also have Beldum, which is well worth catching when you can because Metagross is the 12th best Steel type attacker, 3rd best as a Shadow, and it will be even better when it gets access to its Mega form in the future. Metagross is also the 12th best Psychic type attacker in its Shadow form, and it's ranked 54 in the Master League. It's also worth noting that you will want a decent amount of Beldum candy and Candy XL for max Metagross to power it up and to unlock and power up its max moves, so this will be a good chance to get some candy. Shinx will be available, and while Luxray isn't as good as an electric type raid attacker as Magnezone, it still might be an option because it is the 13th best electric type raid attacker and the 5th as a Shadow. And whilst not meta relevant, Foongus will be available, and it is a Stardust boosted Pokemon that will get you 500 Stardust per catch, so well worth catching this whenever you see it. Chansey will be a rare encounter, and if you want more Blissey for your gym defense, then this could be a good chance to do that. And when it comes to the Pokemon Pokemon in raids, Skorupi is a good option because Drapion is ranked 37 in the Great League with 2 15-14 IVs, and it's ranked 25 in the Ultra League with 0 15-15 IVs. But do keep in mind there is a 10-10-10 IV floor for raids, so if you want the perfect PvP IVs, then I recommend waiting till it's in the wild. And Zamazenta will be available for the first time in a while, and this Pokemon is well worth going after, not only because it's getting a shiny release, but also because it is the 7th best fighting type raid attacker, and it's ranked 72 in the Master League, so it could be an option there. And Mega Blaziken will be available in Mega Raids, and it's well worth raiding if you haven't Mega Evolved one before, because it is the 2nd best fire type raid attacker and the 5th best fighting type attacker. And for the Shadow Raids, we do have Shadow Machop, and Shadow Machamp is the 8th best fighting type raid attacker, and it's ranked 19 in the Great League with 0 14-11 IVs, and ranked 22 in the Ultra League with 0 15-14 IVs. Shadow Pinsir could also be an option to raid because it is the 7th best bug type attacker. And Shadow Entei is worth raiding if you can because it is the 7th best fire type attacker, and despite being less accessible because it is a 5-star Shadow Raid, it is doable with 2 trainers. And what about the new Shadow Pokemon? Will they be any good? So Shadow Roggenrola is a great addition to the game because Shadow Gigalith will be the 4th best rock type attacker and 3rd in terms of DPS. We do also have a few bug type Pokemon of note that are being introduced as shadows. Shadow Venipede's evolution, Shadow Scolipede, will be the 13th best bug type attacker. Shadow Shelmet's evolution, Shadow Iselgor, will be the 10th best bug type attacker, and the best out of the 3 will be Shadow Carablast's evolution, Shadow Escavalier, which will be the 6th best bug type attacker. And lastly, although Annihilate took quite a nerf this season in Go Battle League, Shadow Mankey might be worth going after because Shadow Annihilate will be the 13th best fighting type attacker. But if you do have the option to go after Shadow Machop, I would recommend prioritizing Shadow Machop because Shadow Machamp is a better fighting type attacker. So out of the new Shadow Pokemon, Shadow Roggenrola will be the best one to go after because the rock type overall has a lot more meta relevance than the bug type. And with you being able to remove frustration from your Shadow Pokemon during this event, which Shadow Pokemon should you prioritize? Well, it would be ideal to remove frustration from all of your Shadow Pokemon, but unless you have a lot of charge TMs, you will want to prioritize certain Pokemon. And firstly, I would recommend removing frustration from relevant Shadow Legendary Pokemon such as Mewtwo, Kyogre, Groudon, Heatran, Raikou, and Ho-Oh for example. And then for raid attackers, I recommend Pokemon like Shadow Conkeldurr, Garchomp, Excadrill, Rampardos, Rhyperior, Weavile, Mamoswine, Gengar, Metagross, Magnezone, Tyranitar, etc. And for Go Battle League, I would recommend Pokemon like Feraligatr, Quagsire, Marowak, Jumpluff, Machamp, Galarian Weezing, Dusknoir, Dragonite, and Gyarados as some examples. So if you are removing frustration from a lot of Pokemon, you are going to need to find ways to get more charge TMs. So you can get them from winning raid battles, from Go Battle League win rewards, you can occasionally get them from special research tasks, and during this Team Go Rocket takeover, you can get them from field research tasks. And if you are looking to get more candy for some of the event Pokemon, here are a few ways that you can maximize on it. So trading is a great way to earn candy this season because you will get an extra candy and a guaranteed XL candy for each trade. And if you trade Pokemon that have been caught far away from each other, you can get even more candy and a higher chance for Candy XL. Remember though, you can't trade Shadow Pokemon, so if you want more candy for a specific Shadow Pokemon, you need to either trade a regular version of it or a purified version, but it's worth noting that trades involving a purified Pokemon do count as a special trade, so you are better off just trading regular versions if you can. And this isn't the only way to pick up some extra candy. You can always use Pinap Berries to increase the amount of candy you get for each catch, and you can Mega Evolve a Pokemon that's the same type as the Pokemon you're catching to increase the amount of candy, Candy XL, and XP you get per catch. And as the wild Pokemon for this event have a lot of different types, I recommend Mega Evolving something that shares a type with the Pokemon you want to get candy for the most. And remember that Mega Evolving a Pokemon that is at the max Mega level will get you more candy, XP, and a chance for Candy XL. And when powering up Pokemon, you will need Stardust as well as candy. And Foongus will be available in the wild, and it is a Stardust boosted Pokemon that gives 500 Stardust per catch, so well worth catching it whenever you see it. Also, entering Pokestop showcases will get you some Stardust and XP just for taking part, and if you do happen to rank highly, you will get some premium items like star pieces and lucky eggs, which you can then use to increase Stardust and XP gains as well. And you do also have the option of using Origin Palkia's Spatial Rend Adventure effect to increase the Pokemon encounter radius, and this will allow you to reach Pokemon you may not have been able to previously, so you can catch more and get more Stardust and XP. And to power up Pokemon all the way to the max at level 50, you will need to be at least level 40 40, so XP is pretty important, especially as the level cap will most likely be raised in the future, and this is how you can maximize XP for this event. So this season you will be getting increased XP for leveling up friendship, so you will get 300k XP for leveling up to best friends with the lucky egg active. So it is really worth sending and opening the max amount of gifts you can each day to progress friendship with as many trainers as possible. And when leveling up past 40, there are some level up requirements as well as XP requirements, and one of them is to have 35 platinum medals. And here are some that are worth working on during this event in particular. So with the increased Team Go rocket presence, this will help you with your hero and purifier platinum medals. And like I said before, trading is well worth it this season, so this will help you with your gentleman and pilot platinum medals. It's also worth leveling up friendship for XP, so the idol platinum medal is a good one to be going after. And as there are event themed showcases, it's well worth going after the showcase star medal, which is the only way to get PhD Pikachu. And with that said, if you did enjoy this video, then I recommend checking out these videos on the screen now, and I'll catch you in the next one.